Well, thank goodness the Liberal Party has resolved its leadership woes and can get back to the job of holding this Labor government to account, because this is who is in charge right now.
I think in Australian politics it's important not only that you have a good government, and of course I think Anthony Albanese projects a sea of tranquility in an age of uncertainty.
I'm sorry, what? A sea of tranquility? That was a Trade Minister, Don Farrell, who clearly is all at sea himself. And notice he had to look down and refer to his talking points this morning just to talk about his own leader. So let me summarise Labor's weekend for you. Anthony Albanese was busy playing the gender card.
Well, I think people in the Liberal Party will despair that Susan Lee, elected as leader of the Liberal Party just months ago, wasn't even given the opportunity to give one budget reply speech. It's up to the Liberal Party, of course, to defend their own internal processes. But the truth is that if you look at the government and then what some see as the alternative government, my government has a majority of women in our caucus.
Great to hear he now knows what a woman is. Now, DEI politics and gender ideology never bodes well, and it's not what you at home are thinking about in the middle of a cost of living crisis and when the standard of living has been crushed under Labor, when bills are going up and immigration is at record levels. Then there's the Housing Minister, Claire O'Neill, who was busy not dealing with the housing crisis, not dealing with the fact Labor has failed to achieve any of its housing targets, but dealing with her fridge.
Did Susan Lee lose the Liberal leadership because she's a woman? When a man takes on a leadership role, authority is immediately gifted to him. But when a woman takes on a leadership role, everything's a bit different. They have to earn authority and earn it again and again and again. And one of the things I really noticed with Susan Lee was that so many of her male colleagues, they just never actually accepted that she was their boss.
Well, firstly, I'm distracted by the open fridge. Secondly, way to alienate male voters. And thirdly, Labor was always going to make the Liberal leadership spill about gender and identity politics when it knows what a woman is, of course. Now, we know it's not about gender, it's about who's best for the job. And don't forget, there were women within the Liberal Party ranks openly critical of Susan Lee too. Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price, Sarah Henderson, and in the last few weeks, new Deputy Jane Hume. And then there's Don Farrell, who has admitted that he doesn't even know the rules of his own portfolio. This minister is responsible for overseeing the parliamentary expenses watchdog, but he's not quite sure about travel entitlements.
I was negotiating a free trade agreement in Europe when this conversation took place, and I must admit I haven't caught up with the specifics of it since I got back at 11 o'clock last night. But each individual, each MP has to understand the rules and has to comply with the rules. That includes me and every other member of Parliament.
And in another sign of just how out of touch this minister is, he has suggested that his recent $90,000 taxpayer bill to fly his wife and adult children around the country passes the pub test.
Look, I could sit on my couch with a beer watching the TV. I choose to go around the country and around the world to promote Australia. I'd ask you to have a look at my record in this regard. $1.3 trillion of trade, a record trade amount. Look at China, $20 billion worth of new trade.
Wow, Don, look at me. I'm doing so much. Therefore, I can just justify spending all of your money. Please. And then finally, to cap off Labor's weekend, there's Chris Bowen, who's back with the memes again. The Climate Change and Energy Minister seems to think your bills going up is a joke.
My question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
My question is to the Minister for Climate Change.
My question is to the Minister for Climate Change. The Minister for Climate. My question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy. My question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
To paraphrase my favourite tailor, it's actually sweet all the time you spend on me. It's actually romantic, Mr. Speaker. I won't be thinking about the National Party on Saturday, even if they're thinking about me on Valentine's Day, because their obsession is just a little bit over the top, Mr. Speaker, but I wish them all the best.
I mean, he seems to think that questions about why you never saw that $275 in energy bill relief is a big laugh, some sort of Valentine's Day obsession. Does he think it's funny when mum and dad can't pay their bills? I mean, this is not a serious government. But unfortunately, one which has been allowed to run off the lead while the Coalition and Liberal Party were in crisis. Now, this is why the Liberal Party can't waste any more time. A long-awaited change in leadership has come in Angus Taylor, a Conservative, and already he's foreshadowing strong policies like on immigration.
You know, our focus is on bringing people to this country who believe in our values, who come here because they know this is the greatest nation on earth. They want to contribute and they want to be part of our way of life. Now, if they reject our core beliefs, if they reject our focus on democracy, the rule of law, obeying the law, our basic freedoms, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, if they reject those things, the door must be shut.
This is a really great start, but the window of opportunity is slim. The Liberal Party is in the middle of an identity crisis. Who is it and what does it stand for? A Sky News Pulse YouGov poll put the coalition vote at a catastrophic low of 19% this week. That's behind One Nation on 28%. Now, this isn't just a plan to save the Liberal Party, but Angus Taylor has to try and win back voters who have abandoned the party for One Nation. And I've got to say credit to Pauline Hanson for being the only politician to put issues like immigration, like who we're bringing into the country, front of the agenda. In the 9 months since the election, Australia changed, but the Liberal Party never caught up, and One Nation took advantage and won. No wonder Pauline Hanson is the most favoured politician in the country. But now the Liberal Party is going to have to work with her as well as the Nationals. And finally, we're starting to see strong coalition unity.
So it's just some downright common sense that Angus is getting back to our values as Australians, pulling the levers without having to spend more of your money to solve the nation's problems. That's common sense. That's what the Nationals will sign up to with the coalition, and I think Angus has proven that pretty strongly in his first outing.
This moment demands more than just a leadership change. It's a good start, as I said. Let's hope the Liberal Party does not squander it again, because right now, Labor is taking us all for fools.